Hi Aries, welcome to Tarot and Heal. You might notice something different. Yes, I am showing my face. Let's get started. I come to you humbly, God, thanking you for your divine guidance, providing messages of divine light and divine love, in accordance with your divine will. What is it that the Aries collective need to know? I was meditating on your energy and it just felt like a gut punch. Okay? I'm still dealing with the energy right now that I'm feeling. I'm feeling like someone's speeding ahead with tears in their eyes. So, like someone is moving to their new beginning, but it's painful to do because of what they have to sacrifice for it. But you're going for it, which is great. It's like despite the pain, it's like, okay, I'm gonna power through. We have be true to yourself and reflect on your truth. This is all about truth. Doing the honest thing, doing the thing that's on your path, doing the most authentic thing for you. It's an act of self-love. There's certain relationships that you have to walk away from out of self-love. Okay? There's certain, there's just certain energies that you have to walk away from out of self-love here, all right? Now, I do feel like someone's like I did hear trailblazer as well. Someone's like trailblazing a brand new path, but it's like they're burning. I feel like there's a need to be moderate because you might be burning all the bridges, you know. It's like someone knows that they have to move into a new cycle. They know that they have to get rid of people. That's a painful epiphany to have, that you grew out of people. But I don't think you grew out of everyone. But it feels like just to get through it, just to finally push through and become this authentic self, you feel like you have to cut everybody off, you know, and like really leave everything behind. So there's a need to be mindful of that. I'm burning all the bridges that you have, but I get why that feels necessary to do, because it's so hard to move on. It's just like, okay, all or nothing, you know. And it's like, it's really like moving full steam ahead, because you know it's something you have to do. You don't want to hear anybody telling you, hey, I don't have to do that, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't move that way. It's just like, okay, F everybody, I'm gonna do this. Whoever meets me there, meet me there. If you don't meet me there, then whatever, you know. But it's like someone's moving full steam ahead, but it feels so sad. But it's necessary. It's just going through the wounds, the pain of separation. I know you guys had this energy of like having to pull away from people who were childhood friends, people who were in your life for a really long time, you know, and just having to like mourn those old relationships for the sake of your own growth and development. All right, let's get into it. I felt it in my solar plexus as well. So maybe do some solar plexus meditations. It might be a little bit overactive, okay? So maybe be mindful of that. Set the intention of balancing it, okay? That's where you feel powerful, right? And that's what you're walking into. You're going into this energy where you're feeling more yourself, more powerful, okay? All right, what's going on with Aries? Was that the Knight of Wands? It was. The Knight of Wands popped out. I'm put it back in. Yeah, it's very fiery energy. It's like, whoever this is, you guys are going in the right direction. You might not be handling it in the best way. It might be a little tactless. Okay? It's not like it's not like a, you can do this in different ways. There could be phases, like the quarantine, right? You can have phases to eliminating certain energies out of your life. You can have phases to get to who you are. It doesn't have to be like so cut and dry, so extreme. There's a need to be moderate with the Temperance card, okay? I feel like there are some relationships that need to get burnt down, and there's some that's getting burnt down as collateral damage that probably shouldn't be. But I think a good way to take inventory of what needs to be burned down and what doesn't is really just reflecting on each relationship. What kind of things do you talk about? What energy do you feel? Do you feel drained when you talk to them? Just so you can figure out who's good for you and who's not, rather than saying everybody of my old life is gone, you know. That's what I'm feeling. Because of that, it might come off as you being a little bit, the Knight of Wands keep coming out again, yeah. It's fiery energy. It might come off as a little bit too, like, emotionally unsound and ungrounded, all right? With that Four of Wands there. We have the High Priestess. I do feel like you're being intuitively guided, right? You know, like I said, you know you're going in the right direction. It's just how you're handling things. You might be causing unnecessary rifts. Like, it can be a smooth transition into your new beginning, okay? Whoever this is. But how it's being handled, it's like causing arguments. You're hurting people in the process. You know what I mean? It has that energy where you're going to the right, you're going in the right direction, but you're like, you might unknowingly, not saying that you're intentionally doing it, whoever's doing this, I don't feel like it's coming from a place of malice, but it's like your intensity is hurting people, okay? Because you're not using that much compassion. There's a need to be a bit more compassionate. I just thought about a conversation I had where someone is going through this, something similar, and they said things like, you know, I just feel like, why would I want to be around the likes of you? You know, not to me, but it was just like, that was their energy. That's what they felt. And I just hope that that isn't being, that message isn't relayed, but that could be the energy of how someone is feeling, you know? I feel like the solar plexus, that seat of power, that confidence, some of you guys, it might be a little bit overactive where you might come off like you're kind of on, not everyone, it might be on your high horse a little bit, where it's just like, my old life was crap, and so was everyone in it. So I'm leaving everyone behind, when that's not necessarily the truth. All right. You have the Page of Cups coming out. I feel like the truth of the matter is, the way someone was behaving might have been, they weren't honest with their emotions, so they attracted a certain energy. Whoever this is resonating with, their point of attraction was inauthenticity and insecurity, not loving themselves. So they attracted situations and they attracted behaviors that fed into this narrative. I think there's a bit of a truth to reflect on, like holding yourself accountable. It's like when someone smokes. This is rough. You guys are getting a tongue lashing a little bit. I'm sorry. But it's like when someone smokes, right? And they smoke for years. And then they get to a place where they no longer smoke anymore. And now they look at people who smoke like idiots. It's just like, have some compassion. Have some empathy, because you were just there, you know? It's like someone switching gears and then going like full steam ahead and like eat my dust, biatches, you know? So even though they feel the pain of it, it's not like someone's completely heartless, but how they're coming off is like eat my dust biatches when they're really like kind of hurt about it. So it's like be compassionate with yourself as well. Be honest with how you feel. It's like easier to move in that defensive way than it is to have a heart to heart with people and say, hey, this is where I'm at right now. I just need you to just bear with me, you know, things like that. Be a bit softer in your approach, be a bit more vulnerable in your approach here. But you guys are moving into a new beginning with the death card coming out. You're moving into a brand new beginning, uncharted territory, which is great, and that will bring on new people for sure. Okay, just make sure that you're not like stepping on people to get there. Okay. The this is frustrating energy, because even though someone's moving like that, they're moving out of like not wanting to feel vulnerable, because the pain that I'm feeling is so intense. And instead of just being honest and saying, look, this is such a painful time that I'm in, first instead of saying I'm in this painful time, this painful transition, I don't know how to deal, someone's just being like very like fiery about it, out of the fear of being vulnerable. Moderation, man. Moderation. Temperance card. It's like you're crapping. It's like someone is like crapping on other people to get to a good place. But it's like, that's not the way to do it. You want people to, you're going to get to this place and like, you want people to cheer you on and feel happy for you and realize why you're moving the way you're moving. But don't sit there and like make people feel small. And then you get to this place, you get to this new beginning, and now you're just like completely alone because you just burnt unnecessary bridges. You know, that's the feeling I'm getting here. It's not coming from a place of malice, but it is a defense mechanism and it needs to be checked. You are doing the right thing, but in the wrong way. Why is a temperance card here? Spirit is trying to help you navigate this. There's some gems on the journey to the new beginning. Like I said, there's phases. You're missing, you're trying to zoom through this transition and you're missing things along the way. There's stop signs. There's some signs, some gems to pick up along this journey to the new beginning. You're just trying to like zoom through red lights right now. And in turn, you're just like making things you're making it a bit harder. It seems like it's a fast and quick approach, but you're actually making things harder because now you're picking up tickets, because traffic light tickets, you know what I mean? Where you could just like take your time, pick up the gems. You might pick up people, you might pick up support, you know, in helping you get there instead of just zooming through and now you have the cops chasing you because you want to just get there quickly. You know, it's two ways to handle it. And some of you guys might feel the inclination in July to zoom. Ooh, wow. So the lily. Some of you guys might be running away from yourselves too. I feel like the motivation for moving that way, the people of your past, their representation. This is getting deep. Wow. The people of your past, their representation of the choices that you made. The choices that the old you have made. And some of you guys are so quick to want to run away from the old self. Instead of seeing that, You're like looking at the people. You don't want to face the people that are the reflections. They're mirrors. Everyone that we meet are mirrors, right? So these people are like mirrors of, some of them might be mirrors of past decisions that you might have regretted. The old you that you no longer like, you know, and so it's like running away from your past and all the people that are included in that. It's not the healthiest thing. It's not the healthiest approach. So I feel like if you slow down, you'll see that there's some gems that you have to pick up. There's some parts of you that you have to integrate. You're not going to just jump into a new beginning and the old you is just evaporated and your past is evaporated and your past mistakes are evaporated. No. Some people do like to live that way. And it's not the truth, because the past will come back if you don't handle it. You don't want the past to come back to haunt you. Face it head on. It's hard. But don't run away from that work. That's a part of doing the work. Moving like this is an illusion of moving fast, moving forward. But it's not. You're not moving forward if you don't do the work of your past, if you don't do the work of your inner wounds. If you've been moving, your old self was moving in a certain way, and it had you making certain decisions that you didn't really like, you have to face those inner wounds that caused that. Or else, if you zoom straight ahead and you just look at it like, oh, it's because of these people around me, it's not because of me. If you move ahead thinking like that, you realize the error in your ways, but you're looking at the symptoms, which are the people and the results of the old you, but you're not looking at the cause. What you're going to do is just recreate this in a new cycle. Okay? So this alleged moving quickly and running away from your old life, it's not, you're really just running into another similar cycle. You're going to recreate the same things. Spirit is trying to help you navigate this in a better way. You got the right message that yes, you do need to move on. There is an evolution that's happening with you. There's a new you that's emerging. But the process of that new you emerging, you can't skip the cocoon stage. You can't skip the dark night of the soul stage, where you look at yourself and do the work and do the healing. With the Chariot card, it's like you're moving, somebody is moving really fast to go nowhere. You're moving fast and you're going to find yourself in the same situation again. I've done that. I get it. I know it. That's why I'm a little frustrated, because I feel this. I understand this. It's easier to just blame everyone else and just say, oh, the old me was the old me, and that's it. But you'll find yourself running, and then that path is going to curve right back around, right to where you were again. Trust me. The quicker you wrap your mind around that, and the quicker you start facing yourself, the better. The quicker you hold yourself accountable for who you've been, making amends, okay? This card can be about apologies, okay? And this is about apologizing to yourself as well. If you feel like you have a lot of regrets and you just don't want to face it anymore, you have to face it once and for all. Forgive yourself. Show yourself compassion. Also show compassion to the people around you by telling people like, hey, this is okay. I'm realizing the error in my ways. It's scary, you know. I get it. It's scary to face yourself. It is not fun. Apologize to the people that you might have hurt in the past, but don't look at it like, hey, yeah, that was me in the past, but you were a part of that too, so bye. No, eat my dust. That's not it. It's not the best way to go, okay? You're going to miss some opportunities on the way if you do that. Where's the Four of Cups here? It's like it hurts so bad to look, the realization of this old you. And yes, it's hard. Like, it hurts. The transition of being the new you, feeling the new you emerging, and seeing the contrast between the new and the old you. You look back like, oh my gosh, I was so dumb. I was young and dumb. You know, you look back at the error of your ways and you gain more wisdom, and you're like, oof, yikes. So you might be looking back at the old yourself and cringing, but you have to do that. You have to do that. There's some opportunities of growth here that you're missing out on, some wisdom that you're missing out on, okay? That might come from the level of accountability that you need to hold yourself to, okay? All right, let's see what the blockage is. We're already at 20 minutes. The biggest takeaway, you might be projecting a little bit, okay? As you're facing yourself, you might be projecting on others. There's a need, and it's stemming from your not wanting to face yourself. Okay? Okay. This could be you or someone in your life, all right? If they're moving this way, then, yeah. If they have Aries placements. All right, what is a blockage? Whew, good. All right, I'm feeling that, the release. All right. I know I'm driving the point home. This is coming out as a blockage, okay? I'm just going to try to say it in a different way. Because there's a healing property in this epiphany that you're missing. You're running away from happiness. You're running away from your unhappiness. And you're moving forward to what you think will make you happy. And what you're not realizing, like, it's a temporary fix. Whatever you're running towards is just a band-aid. It's like leaving one state to go to another state. You move from California to go to Michigan. And you think that that new beginning is going to be everything for you. It's the end-all, be-all. It's going to change everything. It's a fresh new life. I get a fresh lease on life. And what you're failing to realize, that unhappiness is still within you. You have to face that. It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter who you cut off. This unhappiness is stemming from something within you. You can't run from that. That is always going to be within you. So that's why you would be running in a circle and find yourself recreating the situation again. It's an illusion of growth. You have the right, you know that you do have to grow, and you are growing and you're becoming a new person. But the way you're doing it, it's an illusion of progress. You're not really progressing with that. You have to step within. That's the trip that you need to make. That's the cutting off that you need to do. The cutting off is not, it can be obviously people around you, because with the other Aries readings I definitely saw, there's people in your social circle you definitely have to get rid of. But on top of that, so you don't attract that same energy in another person, you have to cut off and check certain elements within you emotionally, okay? The feeling left out in the cold. The feeling of loneliness. Yeah, it's creating like shadow Aries energy. It's creating... It's definitely creating a shadow fire energy right now. This King of Wands is not... Yeah, it's just coming off like all over the place. It's not coming off emotionally sound. All right? You have to be mindful of that. This King of Wands would rather make other people feel like they're the problem. I'm not the problem, you are. I didn't make any mistakes. You're the problem, so I'm going to cut you off. Yeah. Just like kind of... Alright. Why is it the Page of Pentacles here? I'm sorry, Aries. We have the mountain here, that barrier. Loyalty is still blocking you from making the right decisions. Okay. Listen. So I am getting, I felt this earlier, that because you're moving, you're going in the right direction, but doing it the wrong way, which is going to make this direction go left. Okay? You started off with the great intentions, but your delivery is going to make you go off course. Now, I do feel like you're burning some of the bridges that you're burning. I did mention some of the bridges that are being burnt are not supposed to be burnt. Some of them are actually your support system to get to that place. But because of loyalty, you might be burning down the wrong bridges. Okay, that's how I'm feeling. You might be extending an olive branch to people that you should be cutting out. Loyalty is getting in the way. And it's making you like burn bridges, burn the wrong ones. You don't want to face the real problems. If these are... This social circle thing, I mean, please watch a previous Aries reading, because this has been the theme for the past couple of months. The social circle. Now, this can be like I said, childhood friends or family. It's something that's really like in your, like really inner circle. And it's so hard to face the fact that they're not good for you, that you might be lashing out on other people who probably are. All right. It's like, oh, that person's a problem. You're projecting on other people when it's like the real problem is like closer to you than you'd want to believe. But the loyalty, you just don't want to... What are they failing to see? It's a hard truth. It's a hard truth to reflect on. It's a hard truth that you would have to face. All right. What are they failing to see? This has been a struggle for a while. Like, you guys are really struggling with whatever spirit is shining a light on, whatever relationships, interactions that spirit is shining a light on. Somebody has been going through it. And like facing the truth about this connection or these connections. Facing the truth that they have to leave them behind. Because it's what they knew for a really long time. That's been the issue, and it's been having Aries in a place of indecisiveness, which is cool. But now, the action that's being taken is going into a shadowland. It's like you guys were indecisive for a really long time, didn't know what to do, how to handle it. You guys had a moment of truth about who this person was. Then you had a choice of whether you want to face it or not. It was moving, it was like being static for a bit. And now action is being taken in the July, it seems either now or whatever, in the first half of July. It doesn't matter what the time is. But the action that's being taken is a little bit chaotic and reckless. All right, so. And it's just coming out of a place of anger and not wanting to... It's coming out of a place of major heartbreak. Like, if this is like I said, like if this is like a marriage or if this is like family, it's like that type of energy. Or if it's like friends that you feel are family for you, you're realizing that you have to let them go. And it's so hard to face that. Even though you're not really... You know that you have to, but it's so hard to face it. And it's just stemming from this not wanting to feel alone. That's really what it's coming from. Leaving what you know behind. It's so hard to face that you're projecting that energy that you're seeing in the people that you need to cut off on others, okay? Looking for some excuse not to cut them out. And it's like, okay, so now you're going to mess around and cut out bridges that you don't need to cut out, and you're going to be left with the bad bridges. Like, that's just what's going to happen after a certain point. All right, let's keep going. This is getting too deep. We have the Two of Swords coming out with the Two of Wands. With the Devil energy, yeah. The Tower. So there's going to be a breakthrough. Like I said, it's going to be some type of emotional breakthrough. And this like, I keep, like, I'm feeling like Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, you're moving, zoom, you know, and not trying to think. But it's like you're going to hit a wall. You're going to hit a tower moment moving like that, okay? Which is something that needs to happen, okay? Like I said, like, if somebody starts cutting everything that's, like, good for them around them because it's easier to do than the toxic energy, then they'll only be left with the toxic energy. If they cut everyone, or if it's like, if they cut off everyone around them and they still don't feel happy, then they'll have to have that moment of truth of looking at themselves. It's something like that that's going to happen. Because someone is, like, projecting on other things. Either you're projecting from, you know, you're not facing the people around you that you actually need to cut off, and you're projecting their energy on other people who are not doing that to you. Or you're projecting on, you're not looking within, and you're projecting your own pain on other people. Your own flaws on other people. Okay, either way, it's like you're going to burn the wrong bridges, or you're going to just burn all the bridges around you, and then you'll have nothing else but yourself to look at. Okay, so if you move on that path, I mean, that's going to be the tower moment that happens. But that's when you'll find yourself. Okay, that's when you'll find yourself. Two of Wands. This is the Aries energy. Okay, you'll find yourself. But it's like crash and burn energy. It doesn't have to be this way. It's so fiery. Wow. But it's going to lead to the end of that. Okay. It's like you're trying to go up in a blaze. I mean, hey, more power to you. That is fire energy, so I respect it. Oh, look at that. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles coming out with 10 of Cups, okay? So once you do this whole crash and burn, let's burn the whole world down type of energy, eventually, it's going to be a process. And it's going to be some dark night of the soul moments. You are going to have to do some shadow work. But once you do that, then you open up the door. Ace of Pentacles with the 10 of Cups. You open up the door to emotional fulfillment. That happiness that you've been looking for. All right? So that's coming. That's something to look forward to. It's going to be a process, though. Just try to keep your heart as pure as possible during this time, okay? You don't want to add extra. You know, if you're already looking at poor decisions that you made, you don't want to add on to the list of poor decisions in pursuit of this new beginning. Like, in this case, like, the ends do not justify the means, okay? All right. This is intense. This was an intense reading. Please check out the full moon in Capricorn reading. Okay. All right, let's see what the power animal is. This reading went on way too long. Jesus. Coyote spirit, trust in divine detours. Skunk spirit, know your worth. Buffalo spirit, the abundant universe will provide. You have to trust in this new beginning that you'll find more, okay? Clear out the clutter. All right. You're scared to clear out the clutter. You're scared to clear out the people who mean the most to you because you don't believe in the abundance of the universe. You don't believe that, oh, this is tough. You don't believe that, like, Aquarius had something similar where they realized that the element that they've been in, the people that they've been around all this time, they were not their soul family. And they're going to have this epiphany when they go into this new beginning. They're going to have this epiphany like, oh, this is my soul family. That, I don't know what I was doing all this time. That energy is kind of present here as well, but you don't see it, right? You don't see the new beginning that's coming. You don't, because you were used to a certain level of happiness or dysfunction, a certain level of interactions with your social circle. You don't know the extent of the dysfunction that you were living in. So you don't know what the possibilities are, what's better. Okay, this can apply to relationships, social circles, whatever the case is. You figure out where that fits in. Okay, but it's a matter of like, you're gonna go into a cycle where you actually belong. You might have been in a situation, you feel like a new you is emerging. You don't even feel like you belong where you're at. So why are you still holding on to them? History, nostalgia, fear of being alone. That's the only thing that's making you hold on to these connections, even though they've been in your life for a really long time. They weren't. You didn't feel like you belonged there. You had to fit in. You put in a lot of work to fit in. So now it's like, oh man, you got to face that now. That's a lot to face. Trust in the divine detours, Coyote Spirit. It seems like everything's falling apart, but everything's falling apart so it can come back more authentically. Know your worth. Skunk Spirit, yeah. You know a new you is emerging. And you know the people around you are not aligned with this, okay? Don't start sabotaging your life by burning bridges that shouldn't be burnt, okay? Like I said, on this process, in this journey to you becoming this new person, there's gems, there are people, there are things to pick up along the way that's going to help you grow, all right? You deserve that. Also, be compassionate with yourself with these, as you're facing the man in the mirror, woman in the mirror, as you're doing this dark night of the soul, as you're doing this shadow work and you're looking at the quote unquote ugly parts of you. Don't beat yourself up about that, okay? We all have crappy parts of us, but it's a matter of how you face it, because there's actually gems in the dark side of you. Okay, there's gems that you can integrate within you. It's just parts of you that are misguided and used in a not so aligned way. But once you face your demons head on, now you have power over it. Okay, and now you know how to use this power and harness it to manifest. We need our dark. We need our dark as much as we need our light. Don't let your dark just run amok and sabotage things. Get control. Put a leash on the darkness by facing it head on, checking it. All right, know your worth. You deserve it. All right, I'm gonna pull a prayer. It seems like this is very tough. Thank you, Archangel Michael. What prayer do we have for the Aries Collective for the first half of July? The person you're asking about is trustworthy. Look, there's some people who are there for you in this process. Not everyone is you're meant to cut off. You're burning some bridges who are actual support systems that's going to help you move forward. Someone, yeah, you guys are like, you're lashing out on the wrong people because you can't lash out on the people you need to. You're on the right path. You know exactly what you need to do. You know who you need to cut out. Okay, it's hard to face, but don't start sabotaging the connections, the good connections that you do have, because you can't find the courage to cut out the bad ones, or the not so solid ones. All right, this is a tough one. If this is resonating, you're finding yourself moving into a shadow area, then you can, these readings are not, they're not the end all be all. It's nothing written in stone. It's just it's a guidepost. So if you don't if this is resonating, then you might not realize that you're going into a shadowy zone. So now you hold yourself accountable and pick yourself up. Okay, and handle things in a better way. Okay, Spirit is right there with you with the Temperance card coming out. You are being intuitively guided. You know exactly who and what you need to cut off. Okay, so just do what you got to do. We have self-respect at the bottom of the deck. You deserve better. The loyalty is becoming a burden. All right, Aries. Love you. This is a hard one. But I pray that you find the courage and strength that you need to release the people that you need to release, because your evolution and your spiritual growth is on the line. You can't cheat that. All right. Thank you so much. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, add me on IG. That's Tara Hill. Feel free to, I do personal readings. Check out the info box below if you need more info on that. If you'd like to be an angel donor, please check out the Patreon link below. Please watch a full moon and Capricorn reading. It should be popping up now. And until we meet again, peace.